से तुझको बेदिली है, मुझको है दिल का गुरूर। तू ये माने के न माने, लोग मानेंगे जरूर। ये मेरा दीवानापन है।
Ensure your cell phone is switched off. Good evening, a warm welcome to all of you. Mr. Hansal Mehta, Chief Guest of this evening. Bimal family members, distinguished guests, friends and colleagues. It's my pleasure to have you all here at the museum. On behalf of the trustees and staff of the museum, I welcome each one of you for participating in this event. Before I go further, may I request my colleague, Mrs. Mehta, to felicitate Mr. Hansal Mehta on behalf of all of us. Thank you, Mr. Mehta. Today we are all assembled here to pay our tribute to one of our finest filmmakers who left his and a filmmaker, a key contributor to. Before I speak more about Bimal and his contribution, Perhaps many of you have a question, what museum has to do with Hindi film? My simple answer to this question is, in doing such exhibitions, the museum acknowledges the extraordinary human qualities, that is, creativity and innovation. It is a well-known fact that traditional cultural institutes were created in different times for different audiences than the ones they now have to serve. Whereas in the past, mapping, collecting, and preserving cultural goods was of major importance, today cultural institutions are required to connect with the society and represent the people they serve. The whole point about museum is that they help to sort out your place in the world. Important now than it has been for a very long time. As the world gets more global and the notion of identity gets more complicated, it is important to have a place where anyone can come and look at themselves through history, stories, and futures. Keeping that in mind, the CSM VS, that's the short form of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya, has been organizing exhibitions and program time to time by showcasing talents of some extraordinary people who, with their love, affection, and selfless dedication, created a niche for India in the world of art, literature, films, and culture. Therefore, it is important for this generation to understand the life and works of late Bimal, who started his career with a humble background and rose as one of the leading filmmakers and a creative personality in the 1960s, when digital technology was beyond human imagination. Through his creative films, he tried to communicate with society and communities about different aspects of human nature, values, relationships, social, cultural, and political exploitation, social injustice, ignorance, indifference, etc. We simply cannot forget some of his best films, if I may call them works of art or treasures, such as Do Bigha Zameen, Madhumati, Sujata, Parinita, Bandini, and so on. Even after 50 years, they still remain alive and relevant in today's world. I wish to thank Mr. Hansal Mehta for accepting our invitation. Daughters and sons of late Bimal, I would like to name each one of you and thank you for your help and support. Yashodhara Roy is sitting behind. For Rinki Roy is not here, but she came twice to discuss. Rinki Roy Bhattacharya, she is with us from the beginning. And Joy Bimal Roy, he has been so supportive, given whatever we wanted from him, and Nilanjana Roy Bhattacharya. Thank you very much for your support. I wish to thank my colleague, Mr. Dilip Ranade, and his young team. We are very fortunate to have some young artists from JJ working with us. And when you see the exhibition, it's in-house production. Whatever you see in this museum is in-house production. We don't hire designer for temporary or special shows. So they worked very hard. They put up the entire exhibition, I think, in 10 days' time. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That Hansal is inaugurating the Bimal Roy exhibition because his film, the last film, City Lights, has been compared favorably to Do Bigha Zameen, and even Hansal himself admitted that he was inspired by the celebrated Bimal Roy film of 1953. Frankly, Hansal Mehta is too well known to be introduced. But however, I'm very delighted to welcome him as our special guest and share some highlights of his career. I will begin by describing Hansal in his own words. He claims he is a filmmaker, entrepreneur, foodie, traveler, father, lover, humanist, stupid romantic, politically incorrect, socially inept, largely cynical. Well, he is here for you to ask and find out if all this is what he is. Hansal's journey began with the popular cookery show Khana Khazana, which was hosted by Sanjeev Kapoor. He directed several short fiction-based series like Love Stories followed by Rishte. By 1997-98, he had moved away from the small screen to make his first debut film titled Jaite, and other works followed. But it was Shaheed, a biographical film on the human rights lawyer Shaheed Azmi, that got him serious attention. Mehta has said that it was the unfinished business of Azmi's life which attracted him to make this work. And he has given a meticulous, detailed biographical of that very, very heroic man who was killed at the age of 32, but by then Azmi had experienced a lifetime of experiences. His film had a world premiere at the 2012 Toronto Festival, City to City program. It received obviously very positive reviews, and happily, although because it was made on a modest budget, Shaheed was a commercial success as well. And of course, at the 61st National Awards, his film won 2 national awards, one for his Best Actor, Rajkumar Rao, and for Hansal as the Best Director. His most recent film, City Lights, belongs to the dark, gritty world of film noir. It brings into focus the fragile conditions of the migrants, countless men, women, children, daily brutalized by the ruthless city that promise them gold but take their lives away. In telling us these tragic sagas of heroism and human struggle, Hansal Mehta is able to shake his viewers' complacence. His success also lies in extracting immensely memorable performances from his actors. Well, that is Hansal Mehta, a passionate filmmaker, a storyteller. Whether he is politically incorrect or not matters little, and we wish him all the best in his promising career. But before I request Hansal to share his thoughts, may I just say a few words. For me and my family, July 7, 2014 will remain a landmark date. This is absolutely unbelievable. I always sensed that my father deserved an innate distinction. However, had it not been for Mr. Mukherjee's vision to recognize that cinema had its unique place in the rich cultural heritage of every society, we would not be here. I have no words to describe our gratitude to the museum's dedicated team, too many to name, for their tireless support to put the Bimal Roy event together. I also very, very heartily thank my entire Bimal Roy Memorial Group who have given us so much of time and helped me along. May I also take this opportunity to urge that cinematic works such as my father's be given the status of national treasures. They must be seen oftener, particularly by the younger generation who have had no chance to see them in the theatres. They must be treasured. But most importantly, I think it is time that cinema had its own museum, and in this I draw Mr. Mukherjee's attention. Thank you very much, and welcome.
Thank you. had prepared a little bit of a speech, but I left it behind. I was so moved by what I saw right now. I was unfortunate to be born a version that had no social consciousness. Unfortunately, a new version of Devdas that completely ignored the social fabric of the original work, and it's really hurtful that cinema of this caliber has not resonated to the younger generations, and it is commendable that the museum is carrying out an exhibition. I would really like to involve myself in whatever way, if Bimal Roy's cinema can be shown to today's generation, because exploitation, the issues in his films have not changed. He made his most memorable works after India's independence. Exploitation, the gap between the haves and the have-nots, it's just widened. The gap has widened. Exploitation is even worse. And it is important that we as filmmakers, at least express our social consciousness through cinema and learn from his works. How do you make cinema that is socially relevant, socially conscious, more accessible? And that was the lesson that I learned. I have never been to film school. My film school is works of masters like Bimal Roy. I always say that, and it is too humbling, and it is actually an injustice to the memory of such a great filmmaker that somebody like me, who is just a student, is being called a chief guest. I accept, the honor is when Rinki ji called me, I said, this is unreal. It is it's a very big event in my life. It's bigger than the national award for me, much more than what the government conferred on me. And I'm really, really thankful for this honor. Thank you.
All of you know, this is our second show. We did the first exhibition, Sami Kapoor. And perhaps we are the only museum in the country, not in Mumbai, constantly doing something or other. We have been bringing world culture every year. We brought 2 exhibitions this year, Cyrus Cylinder and the Flemish Masters. We have a desire to do many things. We'll be happy to celebrate many lives. There are so many, and they have been inspiring all of us. Unfortunately, we are not able to do much, but please come around us and help us. We have space and infrastructure. We'll be happy to organize such shows every year. Thank you very much. May I request our audience to proceed towards Curator's Gallery. It's a little far from this place. You have to get into the main building and then first floor in our extension building, where you will get to see the exhibition. Thank you very much. Thanks for being with us.
बचपन के तेरे मीत तेरे संग के सहारे, बचपन के तेरे मीत तेरे संग के सहारे, ढूंढेंगे तुझे गली गली सब ये गम के मारे, पूछेगी हर निगाह कल तेरा ठिकाना, जाने वाले हो सके तो लौट के आना। दे दे के ये आवाज कोई हर घड़ी बुलाए, दे दे के ये आवाज कोई हर घड़ी बुलाए, फिर जाए जो उस पार कभी लौट के ना आए, है भेद ये कैसा कोई कुछ तो बताना, जाने वाले हो सके तो लौट के आना। ये घाट तू ये बाट कहीं भूल न जाना, जाने वाले हो सके।
ओरे माझी, ओरे माझी, ओ मेरे माझी, मेरे साजन है उस पार, मैं मन मार हूँ इस पार, ओ मेरे माझी अब की बार, ले चल पार, ले चल पार, मेरे साजन है उस पार, मैं मन मार हूँ इस पार, ओ मेरे माझी अब की बार, ले चल पार, ले चल पार, मेरे साजन है उस पार। मन की किताब से तुम मेरा नाम ही मिटा देना, गुम तो न था कोई भी, अब गुल मेरे भुला देना। मन की किताब से तुम मेरा नाम ही मिटा देना, गुम तो न था कोई भी, अब गुल मेरे भुला देना। मुझे आज की विदा का, मुझे आज की विदा का मर के भी रहता इंतजार, मेरे साजन है उस पार, मैं मन मार हूँ इस पार, ओ मेरे माझी अब की बार, ले चल पार, ले चल पार, मेरे साजन है उस पार। मत खेल जल जाएगी, कहती है आग मेरे मन की, मत खेल मत खेल मत खेल जल जाएगी, कहती है आग मेरे मन की। मैं बंदिनी पिया की, मैं संगिनी हूँ साजन की, मेरा खींचती है आंचल, मेरा खींचती है आंचल, मन मीत तेरी हर पुकार, मेरे साजन है उस पार। ओरे माझी, ओरे माझी, ओ मेरे माझी।
मत रो माता लाल तेरे बहु तेरे, मत रो माता लाल तेरे बहु तेरे, जन्मभूमि के काम आया मैं बड़े भाग है मेरे, मत रो माता लाल तेरे बहु तेरे, मत रो। जन्म सफल हो मेरा। ओ हंसकर मुझको आज विदा कर, जन्म सफल हो मेरा। रोता जग में आया हंसता चला ये बालक तेरा, मत रो माता लाल तेरे बहू तेरे, मत रो। भूल मेरी जिस जगह तेरी मिट्टी से मिल जाएगी, ओ भूल मेरी जिस जगह तेरी मिट्टी से मिल जाएगी। तो लाल गुलाबों की फूल बगिया लाएगी, मत रो माता लाल तेरे बहू तेरे, मत रो। जब होगा अंधियारा, ओ कल मैं नहीं रहूंगा, लेकिन जब होगा अंधियारा, तारों में तू देखेगी हंसता एक नया सितारा। मत रो माता लाल तेरे बहू तेरे, मत रो।